Hey y'all, hey, Brandmaster Martina with Yelverton here, updating you about our daily live training and follow-up live open office hours. Join me every Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live actionable lessons on building your brand from scratch. We'll cover everything from tools, strategies, and systems like Canva, StreamYard, GoHighLevel, AI technology, and more, to include the exact steps to take you from confused to confident. And the best part is after each live stream, you can hop on Zoom with us to ask your questions and get personalized answers. Don't miss out. Mark your calendar and subscribe now to this YouTube channel. Join our free community, and I'll say it louder for the people in the back. If you want to learn, lead, and level up your automation in your MLM company, or as an entrepreneur who could possibly be struggling in your business, we not only have the solution, we also have the experts. Yes, this is your sign to join us. Our entire team is live each weekday. So if you snooze, you will lose. I said what I said. You heard what you heard. Now do what you now know you need to do to get your assets in order. So as I said, and you did not hear, come on into the room. Be coachable, teachable, trainable. Post your city and state where you are catching this live information from on today. Today, we are actually discussing how to use interactive content to build your community. So if you're currently wanting to know how to use polls, quizzes, maybe even some carousels or some challenges to drive engagement and build lasting connections with your audience, if you're struggling to get engagement on some of your content, then maybe it's time to switch things up with interactive content. Today, I'm going to show you some of the polls and quizzes that you're available to use, some challenges that I've implemented when I do my call to action closeouts to make your audience feel seen, heard, and involved. And I'm actually also going to discuss feedback from your current clientele, customer prospects, or audience, and how you can utilize that to move the needle in your own business and continue to provide value. So on today, I need for you guys to dial in, pay attention, catch this good, because again, today's topic is using interactive content to build your audience. So as we move to transition and you guys listen to a bit of the information on today, take it with a grain of salt that you can't see your girl on screen. We've got a whole lot going on over here today, but you need to get the value. So we're going to work with that. We're also not live on TikTok or IG today. So hopefully you are having the opportunity to dial in to catch the visuals if you need to for my hearing impaired audience over on LinkedIn or Facebook, because they show the captions live. But specifically on YouTube, if you want to come over and join us on YouTube, then you are available to get this information direct, and you will be able to focus on the share screens that we're utilizing on today. So again, if you're struggling to get engagement on your content, then maybe it's time you switch things up a bit and use some interactive content. So while you're actually putting out the content, you may be wondering, why does interactive content matter? Well, it boosts engagement and it continues to build trust, okay? If you create a poll, then you're asking for an engagement. If you utilize a carousel, then you're asking for a continuous look at your content, right? If you launch a community challenge, then it actually helps to strengthen the brand, right? And we're also going to cover, some objections and how you can overcome that my audience doesn't engage myth that happens to be, pulled along when you first get started, right? So understand why you should create interactive content, because it will make your audience feel part of the conversation, right? They engage when they feel like they're being seen or heard, right? When you create interactive content, it sparks curiosity, it sparks participation, right? And it allows the community to come into commune with you, right? And they love to be able to lend their voice or lend their value, just like you're enjoying distributing the content that you're distributing to them, okay? When they interact, then it actually helps your brand or your business to stay top of mind. And that is extremely important to actually be able to continue to show your brand value, okay? So for right now, let's talk about one of the places that you can actually create these polls. So if you currently do not have the prowess to go in and to initiate the use of this GoHighLevel option that we are giving you access to. GHL is a powerful tool, and there are so many different ways that you can utilize it, but you may not be open to utilize it currently at the moment. You may just have free plans like your Facebook. You can do a poll. LinkedIn, you can issue questions or challenges. YouTube, you can do the same. Did you guys realize that there is actually a community area that is inside of YouTube that you can utilize? So let's see if I can get that onto the screen here, and I can share it with you guys, both of them at the same time. All right. My system's trying to act out on me over here. But did you guys know that when you go to your YouTube channel, you can actually go along this banner that's here, this navigation tab that's here, and you go to the actual post area. So here inside of YouTube, if you're not trying to keep your data in one location because you haven't opted up and stepped your game up and gotten your own GoHighLevel account where you can access all of your statistics in one place, let's talk about a free option that you may want to utilize. You can go directly here inside of your YouTube channel and you can click on this area called Post. When you click on this area called Post, you are actually available to mention channels. You can upload images. You can create polls, an image poll, a text poll. You can create quizzes. You can add videos right from your existing platform here. And then you can push it out through the community tab that's now called Post. So if you didn't know that you could create posts on YouTube, now you know your girl told you, okay? You are available to navigate through this area and create a way to engage with your audience. Similarly, inside of the GoHighLevel platform, you are available to go inside of your sites area. And here inside of your sites where you have funnels, you actually have the option to utilize surveys and quizzes up here as well. Again, to put content out that requires your audience to interact with you, right? This way you can see and you can get immediate responses from your audience. And that way you will know what they're asking for, what they're needing from you. Some of the things that you are trying to figure out on your own, if you just put the content out there, put the poll, put the question, put the quiz out there, ask the question, create the survey, then you will be able to get a response from your audience. So that's just two ways that you can do it: through your current account if you have a GHL account, or through a free option. And again, there are polls on Facebook and on LinkedIn as well. Okay. What you want to do in step 2, if I didn't mention that was step 1, to be able to find your specific source that you want to use on which specific platform that you want to use, create in step 1 the poll, the quiz, the survey, or the question in one of those areas. Now, step 2 of that is you want to make sure that you're crafting an engaging question. You're putting out an interesting post. You're actually asking a valuable question, all right? But you want to make sure that it's fun and that is curiosity driven. Like, what's your brand personality type? Like, what specific question do you know when you receive the answer, you will be able to provide a quick, short, actionable step for them to reach a solution for, okay? You want to make sure that you keep the question short and action-oriented. You don't want to ask them to deliver you a soliloquy. You don't want to ask them to deliver you a paragraph in response. You want them to be able to make a quick click to say, hey, I'm 20% this, 80% that. You want them to be able to click and answer quickly with 1 or 2, maybe even 3 words, so that it's a quick action. Why? Because people are living in a microwave society and they want to move on, move on, move on. But they also are looking for solutions to their problems. Even though you know you cannot completely wrap a complete solution to their problem in 1, 2, or 3 words, it gives you the engagement and it gives you a level of insight into what they're looking for. Okay. So make sure you use some type of humor, keep it fun, make sure that it's short, action-oriented, and that you have a curiosity-driven post, asking them a specific question that will give you some insight into how you can actually provide an answer for them, okay? In step 3, you want to make sure that you promote it, the quiz, the poll, the challenge, the post, whatever you're utilizing, across multiple platforms if possible. So if you decide to go into YouTube and you're putting the entire quiz or post inside YouTube, you're going to get some type of URL link from that, and you want to make sure to ask that same question maybe on your other platforms, but direct them to go answer in the one place you are seeking to get the engagement from. So if you post in the stories, then you want to ask the groups, the polls, the LinkedIn's, the videos or whatever to come back to the Instagram stories. If you're choosing to go and post inside of your own LinkedIn page or profile, then when you go over to IG or Facebook or YouTube or any of the other places, you want to ensure that you ask them to list their response where? On the LinkedIn post, right? Make sure that the one place you're looking for the engagement to happen is where you direct all the other platforms to come back to. Now, if you do this, let me give you a tip. If you do this, if you are trying to blow up your Instagram and you actually create everything on Instagram and a lot of your response happens to come on YouTube, you might want to press pause and use that feedback to revisit your strategy and make sure the strategy you are using is the one that will work. Okay. But beyond that, you want to make sure that you embed that maybe into emails, landing pages, and capture lead to capture additional leads from the answer and the engagement that you're looking for where possible. Okay. So again, step one for that is actually choose the platform, whether you're using a poll, a quiz, a survey, a post, a challenge, right? You want to make sure that you're creating engaging questions, fun, humorous, but make sure that they are curiosity driven prompts, short and concise, so that people can click it quickly and respond to you. And then you want to make sure that you give it maximum exposure on all the platforms, driving them back to the one place that you want to get the engagement from. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay. Now, when you move beyond that and you're saying, how exactly do I create a step by step, curiosity driven, action driven piece of content? What is that hook? What is that question? What is the intrigue behind it? Is it quick? Is it valuable? Is it bite sized? Is it something that's going to quickly allow the person to answer you? Yes or yes. And if yes, then go ahead and post it and make sure that you do what? Create a call to action so that when you actually say, what is your favorite brand personality type? If you know that your audience has no idea what a brand personality type is, then you might want to extend it and say, oh, in the parentheses, it's similar to the personalities. Red for fiery and action, blue for calm and serene, gold for fun and engaging, and green for, knowledge base and what is it? Logic thinking or something like that in parentheses, because they may not know what their brand personality type is. Okay. And that way you can say, now that you know, comment below. Something like that, something quick, catchy. Comment below, leave your answer in the comments, swipe the comment, yes to red, no to blue, something like that. You want to make sure you give them a direct call to action, right? Because you're looking for something quick and engaging for them, but you're looking for something in depth for yourself. All right. So this is another way that you can create an interactive piece of content that will build and grow your community and your value. Okay. Now, brand and optimize for impact. When you're creating this, you want to make sure you're still staying in your brand colors. You want to make sure you're still utilizing your brand fonts. You want to make sure that your visuals are still on brand. Ensure that if you do use arrows or visual cues that encourage swiping or pointing down, you want to make sure that you're making this as visually appealing but not cluttered as you possibly can, because remember, Even though you're looking for engagement and to find out more about your audience, your brand still matters. But this should also make it easy for you to create, especially if you received a brand from the brand master. I've given you access to be able to see and understand what your format should look like. So being able to continue to stay within your brand, ask the statement or question, utilize the graphic image, and put it out there in a quick, concise, simplified method for your audience to be able to engage with your content is and will keep you top of mind, right? When you're actually going to go into the next phase of this and you're going to continue or consider putting out a challenge, then you want to make sure that you are staying brand based. Like you want to pick a challenge theme that actually matches your brand. If you want to do something that's 5 days, right now I am actually available to you guys 5 times a week. So for me to say I'm going to create a 5-day engagement challenge, then that matches the fact that I'm already with you at minimum 5 times per week. Now, if you include the fact that we put out additional reels after we conclude the lives, then it's, 6 or 7 reels on top of that makes the engagement more. But you want to make sure that you're picking something that makes sense and matches your brand. If I say right now I'm going to put out a 14-day challenge, you all might be like, that's a little lengthy for the way she normally operates. If anything, you should be expecting me to say the number 9, okay? But specifically for this, being as though I am actionable with you guys 5 days or 5 times per week, by me saying I'm going to put out a 5-day, and we're talking about engagement. Last week we were discussing repurposing this, and the week before that we were discussing utilizing ChatGPT. This particular week we're talking about engagement. So if I say I'm going to put out a 5-day engagement challenge, that would make sense to you, and you would be able to understand that you're going to be expected to engage with some portion of a content piece at least 5 times in that week, right? Also, when you put out a challenge or a poll or a quiz or a question, you want to make sure that you're hands off at that point. Getting into automation, you want to make sure that you're hands off at that point so that when people begin to engage with the post, there's an automatic follow-up that happens. One of the things that you could utilize for an automatic follow-up that could happen is you could actually already have your system an autoresponder, meaning if you're asking for the person to post what their brand personality is, you want to automatically have an action step that happens for all of the reds that is prompted to respond to them, an email sequence, a text message, something in your system that as soon as they respond, you have your system automatically respond to them, right? And what do you want to include? An action step in that response. Oh my goodness, reds are action takers. I completely understand, that. What action have you taken today with regards to your brand? And if they don't understand what that is, of course, in your parentheses, you can say, have you registered a new domain? Have you set up a subdomain? You know what I'm saying? You can actually have something in there that prompts them for the next step after the question is asked. I hope that makes sense to you guys, okay? Automate that step with an instant follow-up, whether it's email, SMS, messenger, depending on what your specific system allows, right? And then you want to continue to encourage the participants to actually share what's happening along the way of the challenge. Because if you do it in this method, not only are you putting the challenge out there to prompt the initial engagement, you're actually walking them through a step-by-step process by immediately having a follow-up sequence to their immediate engagement. And this also allows you to see the engagement and then to shout out the participants that are actually completing the challenge, that are completing the poll, that are commenting on the post, that are actually completing the quizzes, right? Because people like to be seen and heard. They also enjoy the accolades and the sharing of their wins. Okay, so make sure that you're thinking about when you create a challenge, make sure that it's on brand, that it's theme based, that it follows your normal pattern, but make sure that it's intriguing, like we talked about in the first 3 steps. Here in the second 3 steps, when you create that theme, go ahead and try and have a system set up to automate immediately behind their engagement. And then once they do engage, make sure you have the opportunity to give them their kudos and share their wins. All right. So let's get into the last part of this before we close out on today. In this part, I want to talk about the overcoming of the my audience doesn't engage objections. You heard me mention this a little bit yesterday, but let's take it a little bit step further. Of course, when you say I post, but no one responds, again, I tell you respond to the ones that do. There are absolutely no crickets nowhere. And remember, a like, a smile, or heart, that is still a piece of engagement. The system, the algorithm recognizes that as an engagement. So because they don't comment with words, if they give you a like, a love, a heart, a sad face, a caring emoji, if they give you those things, that is still engagement. Do not ignore it, right? You can respond to that by asking a question. What did you find so funny about that? So and so. Because if you click on the hearts and the share action, you can see who specifically gave it that piece of engagement and ask the question. Send them the poll. Give them a call to action. Do not ignore those particular emojis because that is still engagement. Okay. You might be overlooking that now. I'm telling you, don't. All right. In addition to that, another objection is my audience isn't active on social media. Okay. That's even better. Why? Because you don't own social media. That's even better that they may not be on social media. Then meet them where they are. Meet them in an email, meet them in an SMS, meet them in whatever groups for the platform they're on. Meet them with some of the community challenges or invite them into your group or your community. And now you can meet them there. Now, you might be going, well, aren't groups on social media? There's Meetup. There, okay. There are you having your own community platform, you having your own group. There's Collab. There's inside of your GHL, you can create your own community. You can create a community inside of several platforms. Okay. It doesn't have to be just on a social media platform. All right. And finally, I don't know I don't know what interactive content to create or where to put it. Guys, the solution to that is just to start simple. Put up a post, put up a quiz, put up a challenge, and then build from there. You have to start somewhere. Okay. Everybody started at 1. Everybody started at 0. Okay. You have to start somewhere and start simple because you want to make sure it's something that you can manage and maintain. And for the love of all things branding and business, please follow up. If people do comment and respond, follow up. Now, my follow up game is slow. That is a serious problem that I have, and that is because I'm not on social media. I'm inside of my app from one location, and I'll share that with you guys and show you what that looks like. I am inside of my app in one location. There we go. Is that back on the screen? Here we go. So I'm inside of my app in one location. And because I'm here in one location, I'm watching the deets. I'm watching the stats more than I'm watching what I should, because here's some comments that I could be missing, right? They're saying that 5 different types of interactions and 100 interactions came between Facebook and Instagram. This is actual engagement. And there were 35 comments and 5 comments between IG and Facebook here. I now need to go over to those platforms if I don't have it set up here inside of my app. So let me see if I have that information set up and making sure that it won't show any private data if I go this way, because I am available here inside of my app to see some of that engagement. And again, as you know, I'm very transparent about certain areas of this platform I'm still learning, but those that I do know already, I am 100% on board with sharing and show you how I use those. So I will definitely figure that out. But it's letting you know that comments have come in here. And a lot of times I'm available to go over into some of the details of where comments come in here inside of my YouTube channel. Give me a moment to remember where those are. Let's see if I can go in here, your videos, and it'll tell me like where some of my comments are. Don't laugh at me because I promise you I don't know sometimes. Latest comments, right? And I'll have to remind myself to go in here and find some of these comments and respond, right? And I have it set to I haven't responded and let me know, or I'll have it set to responses with new. That means someone responded and then I responded, and see, now I need to go back and respond again. Not quite as many of those, okay? But always look to engage back. When you've asked for engagement, take the opportunity to engage back. Because who else realizes when you leave a comment and the author of that comment never responds, you don't go back and comment again. You move on. So when another comment comes up, you're more hesitant to go and respond. So I'm guilty of that, like many of you are, but make sure you follow up. And when you follow up, make sure you consistently follow up, okay? If engagement has been low, then it's time to switch up the game and maybe move to interactive content that actually invites their interaction and their participation. The more involved your audience feels, the more likely they will stick around. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful for you today. I always ask my CTA question of today, and the question of today is, what specific interactive content strategy will you try? Are you going to use a poll? Are you going to use a carousel? Are you going to use a quiz? Are you going to use just a simple post with a call to action? I'm going to challenge you to post one interactive content or piece, whether it's a poll, a quiz, a survey, or something like that today, and test the option to build your community via a challenge, via a poll, via a quiz, or a post that has some type of interactive engagement, right? We're actually going to be discussing loyalty programs tomorrow on Wednesday at 3 p.m. So I am hoping to have you all join us live. We do have a part 2 Watch Me Work Wednesday that may distribute out today, because I did promise you guys a second piece of content, and that deals a lot with how to create courses inside of your option or your program, your membership, your community, or the likes, right? And I want to make sure that you have the option to learn actually how to go in and create courses inside of your products, and how, once you create these various courses and people begin to opt into those courses, how this content was created. And literally this was done in less than an hour, and it was broken up into multiple parts. And I actually have a training where I show you beginning to end, from the graphics to the content to the breaking it up, the distribution and building of this specific community, how this was done. I actually have this inside of a learning tab. And when you go into the learning tab, when you get to a level base inside of our community, it opens you up to be able to come into automatically for free the option to watch the contents that are available here inside of For the Love of Business and Branding. I will be covering that on tomorrow. So thank you for your time today. I hope that the information I've been able to share with you today makes sense, okay? And that you are available to utilize it in your business. Go ahead and answer in the comments below, if you would, please, one interactive content strategy that you're going to try this week, right? What is one piece of content that you're going to post, whether it's a poll, a quiz, a survey, and how are you going to test the ability to increase engagement? I look forward to catching you guys on tomorrow, and I will have the Zoom room open today. Learn, lead, and levelup.com. Go ahead and grab your free membership. And when you grab your free membership, you can click on the events tab and come into the Zoom room for today's date. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for your time. Hey y'all, hey, Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton here, updating you about our daily live training and follow-up live open office hours. Join me every Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live actionable lessons on building your brand from scratch. We'll cover everything from tools, strategies, and systems like Canva, StreamYard, GoHighLevel, AI technology, and more, to include the exact steps to take you from confused to confident. And the best part is, after each live stream, you can hop on Zoom with us to ask your questions and get personalized answers. Don't miss out. Mark your calendar and subscribe now to this YouTube channel. Join our free community, and I'll say it louder for the people in the back. If you want to learn, lead, and level up your automation in your MLM company, or as an entrepreneur who could possibly be struggling in your business, we not only have the solution, we also have the experts. Yes, this is your sign to join us. Our entire team is live each weekday. So if you snooze, you will lose. I said what I said. You heard what you heard. Now do what you now know you need to do to get your assets in order.